Aloha and welcome to Author Talk. I'm Lori coming at you from the big island of Hawaii, and I'm thrilled to have my guest here today, James Kelly, the author of The Three Faces of My Mental Illness. There's his book, such a great book, so informative. I learned so much from it, and I know you will too. But welcome, James. Glad to
Well,
have you
thank
with
you.
me.
Thank you. How you doing today?
I am doing wonderful.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yes. And how are
Excuse
you
me
doing
one second.
today?
I'm doing good. Thank you. Thank
Good,
you.
good. Again, I'm so happy to have you with me because I just, your book is important. And
Well, thank you.
gosh, I just want a lot of people to read it. So just tell us, the title is like, the three faces of my mental illness. So that tells me that there's different personalities, like three.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, go
That
ahead and
that's
talk
ba-
about
that,
that.
yeah. That's basically if I'm not on my medicine, I usually develop one of two personalities,
Mm-hmm.
and I have no control over them. In one of them, I'm a thief. I'm a liar. I get angry. I like to hurt people. You know, and the other one, I'm responsible business runner. I own my own business, and you know, the weird part about the second personality is I'm gay, but in the second personality, I'm actually bi. It's weird.
So
But
your sexual
uh,
orientation can even change
yeah,
with,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. It was amazing. And some people say, well, the second personality sounds good. You run a business. My mind's really sharp. I've gotten
Mm-hmm.
all my degrees on that. But the
Mm-hmm.
problem is it only lasts so long. And then it goes into mania or hypermania. And I have no control in what happens when I'm on that. A lot of times I'm delusional, paranoid. I think people are trying to get me. I talked about that in my book. Well, one of my businesses I closed down because I thought my customers were trying to, kill me, and there's a bomb in there, and I thought the FBI was chasing me, and and it sounds ridiculous, and I know that, but that's the way it is. It's true. It's not.
Yes.
People say, well, that's crazy. You're a smart guy. That's crazy, but it's not. And they say, well, but the problem it is a mental illness. My actions
Mm-hmm.
aren't logical. If they were
So
logical, I wouldn't be mental illness.
yeah, so in the one personality, in the book, you call it your second
Yeah.
personality, because there's not a different name or
No,
anything
no,
like
no,
that. Yeah,
no, no.
it's
Yeah.
just all of a sudden you. Oh, I don't know if it's all of a sudden, but you're sharp, you're focused, you're driven.
Yeah.
That you built a business, but this is while you are not on
Medicine,
medication,
right. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and if I remember correctly, that was for about 3 years, right? You had
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Oh
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you were successful, going good for a long time. Um, but I just want to say that that's confusing probably to your friends and family,
Oh, sure it is. Yeah,
right?
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Um,
Yeah. That's the reason why I wrote the book. Is maybe they can look at it and kind of understand it. Sure it is. I'd be confused about it. I mean,
mm-hmm.
if I didn't have it, sure.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, like, I talked about I got fired because I forgot I was on a ladder and I stepped off the ladder. If somebody told me I forgot I was on a ladder, I think they were crazy.
Yes.
But that's what happens. I don't know why it happens. I don't know why the personalities come on. I don't know why the behavior changes. I just know it does.
Yeah.
And I know for me, it's important to stay on the medicine. You know,
Yes. But throughout, when you've had the good times off of the medicine, that's when. But then you slowly started to become angry and
yeah, right,
move
exactly,
into the destructive part. But that's when.
right.
What would people say to you when you were slowly starting to change in the beginning?
Oh, usually they would just tell me to pray about it, or I don't really need no help. Just change what I'm doing. Oh, change your behavior. You need to stop doing this. You need to stop doing that, or go to church and pray about it. And I've been told all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
People tell me, well, you're just making it up because you're just trying to get out of taking responsibility, and none of that was true. And the praying about it, me, I don't believe in any God, but I don't put nobody down that has religion. But you can kill people by telling them to pray about it instead of getting help, and then it's fine if you want to pray while they're getting help. But
Sure.
my father was like that. Oh, you don't need medicine, just go to church and pray about it. And people can die. I
Mm-hmm.
was fortunate in some of my episodes that I shared in the book, I was
Mhm.
fortunate that I didn't get killed or die or
Yes,
kill somebody.
yes,
And
yes.
and if I would have had more of the people in my life saying, "Hey, you need to go get help. You need to
Mm-hmm.
get back on your medicine. You need to do this. You need to do that." I would have, I would have done it. But I wanted to believe him so bad because I didn't want to believe I had a mental illness.
Yes, yeah. I mean, there's a stigma, right, that
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
along
there
with
is.
that. So, but during the times that your friends and family were saying, "Oh, just get over it, move on," that those kinds of things, were you hearing that from professionals as well?
Sometimes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a psychiatrist tell me that uh, what I experienced didn't exist. I was making it up. I'm like, wow, really? You
Okay.
know,
Yeah.
uh, but I can't really fault him back then. There wasn't a lot known about it that's known today.
Yes.
Back then, psychiatrists, there were some really good ones and some bad ones. It's like everything else. There's good cops, there's bad cops, there's good doctors, bad
Mm-hmm.
doctors. You know, but some of the psychiatrists, they just didn't know about it. They thought, a lot of them didn't believe in personality disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I experienced some of those, which is unfortunate because I had to go to like the free clinics and stuff, and you see a lot more than doctors there.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting doctors down at the clinics. Some of them are really good at the free clinics, but some of them are not. Uh,
Yeah.
like when I was a child, I talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even see a psychiatrist. And
Right.
they should have, brought it in and taken that more seriously.
Yeah.
You know.
So, the scariest part for me would be just like not knowing. But did something happen? Like, was your brain born this way, or I know you had a head trauma? Like,
I
did
don't know. I don't know. There's mixed opinion on that, and I don't really know. Some say it's hereditary. Some say they have no idea what it is. My dad's got some mental illness, so it's probably
okay,
hereditary, I would imagine.
okay,
And the brain trauma when I got hit by a car, that probably didn't help. But
mm-hmm.
I don't know if that brought a lot of it on or not. Um, I know that it runs in my family on my dad's side.
Okay,
Although some of them don't have it as bad as I do, and some do, they just won't get help.
yes,
So
yes.
you know,
So when you were, I think it was 9, you had a head trauma.
hmm
Um, and then it was after that, I think, that you heard your first voices, and then a few
yeah,
years
yeah,
later at 12 your
exactly.
first hallucination. But and this is common. You were told by the doctors that that's common,
Yeah,
after head injury,
yeah,
that those
yeah,
things can happen.
yeah,
um,
and at the time I believed him. I don't know.
yes.
My mother don't know. She's not a doctor. She's not a psychiatrist. You believe what they say, okay. But it wasn't. I know now that wasn't normal. That wasn't. And back then, maybe if they would intervened a little better, I could have maybe not experienced some of
Right.
the things that I went through.
Yes, so it's kind of just misdiagnosed
Pretty much, yeah,
early on,
yeah.
but
Uh,
it was a common occurrence. But I feel like I want to say, so if your kid is still having a hallucination even after a brain injury, maybe you should take it really serious.
yeah, yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get them to see. And here's the thing: if they're having a mental problem, take them to a psychiatrist, not a family doctor, a psychiatrist. It's like taking your Ford to the Audi dealership to have it worked on. Yeah, sure, they know how to do it, but they don't specialize in that.
Yes. Yeah.
A
Yeah.
psychiatrist, that's what you need to go see. When I see medical doctors, the medical doctors, they're not trained in psychiatry.
Mm-hmm.
They can write prescriptions all day, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would. It's vitally important. If anybody has a child, even if your child's starting to hallucinations or audio, visual, whatever, yeah, get
Mm-hmm.
help,
Yeah. Yeah.
get them
So
somewhere.
So one of the stories that you talk about in your book is the store at Walmart, and it was sad and scary and
Yeah,
like whoa, all at the same time. Um, and so, can you just because that's real to me? To me, that was like real life. in the hypermania state, the people around were probably just freaking out, wondering what's going on. So
Oh yeah, I'm
can you
sure.
tell us that story about the
Yeah,
Walmart?
yeah, yeah. I was in Walmart and there was I'm in the hypermania stage, and for some reason I thought a guy in there was trying to kill me. I thought he was my father and he was trying to kill me, and I ended up attacking him.
This was what you call personality one or first
Right, exactly.
personality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I actually believed that he was trying to kill me, and apparently I believed that I was Satan because later on I was told that I was trying to call angels up from hell to help me kill this guy.
Mm.
I know this sounds really weird, but in my mind, I actually thought he was trying to hurt me, and
Mm-hmm.
I hold two different black belts, so I can be more, I can do more damage than what the average,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I ended up jumping on the guy, and it ended up hurting him, and the police showed up, of course, and they finally got me restrained, and taken to the mental hospital. But yeah, I mean, here's a guy standing at Walmart minding his own business.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know him, don't know nothing about him. I don't remember doing that. I just remember I was told about the incident from the cops and the psychiatrists and stuff like that, because I don't remember what I do when I'm in a hypermania stage. But you know, I can empathize with the guy. I mean, if I'm standing in Walmart, somebody just starts, telling me to quit trying to read their mind, and get out of
Yeah.
their head and trying to control my thoughts. I thought he was trying to control my thoughts and he was going to kill me and all this stuff. It was just crazy stuff. I mean, uh,
Yes.
that people would say, oh, that's not real, but unfortunately, that was real. And I'm really fortunate that I didn't hurt the guy real bad.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
I didn't paralyze him or anything like that. I'm really, I tried to find out who he was later so I could apologize, but I never could find out who he was.
Yeah.
You know,
And one of the things that is so like was so your heart, I thought in the book, was just how many times that you said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be like this. I don't
yeah, I
like
don't.
this.
No,
And
you know, I, it's like when I was in Vegas, stealing from people, breaking into houses. That's not who I am. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
lying to people. That's not who I want to be anyway. But in those personalities, I can't change it. It's like trying to get your dog to meow or your cat to bark. It's not going to
Mm-hmm.
happen.
Yeah. So the only way that you can come out of a hypermania stage is to go into a mental
Yeah,
hospital and get
the medicine.
restabilized.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it's usually Seroquel. I call that my big gun, and Seroquel is an antipsychotic, and it works well for me. It has a lot of side effects, but it works well. But usually, when I hit that stage, I got to go into a mental hospital, and they usually hit me with high doses of Seroquel,
Mm-hmm.
every now and then Thorazine to go with it, and then pretty soon that'll regulate me back out, and I can start, coming back down, and start thinking clearer again with that, and usually another mood stabilizer to go with it. Uh,
Yeah.
but that can take a week, after I'm in the mental
Yes.
hospital.
Yeah.
Um, that's what people really need to understand, how dangerous that can be for the person that suffers for it, but for general society too.
Yes. Oh, the poor guy standing in Walmart.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
yeah.
I hit,
Um, so I liked, you had a chapter on mental hospitals, and I really appreciated that because again, we know unless you're somehow familiar because you've got a relative or you yourself have
right.
gone to a mental hospital, all we have is the movies,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah, and that's why I don't really fault people,
yeah,
because I mean, the only experience with it is what they see on television.
yeah, hmm,
That's why, well, another one of the reasons why I wanted to write that book.
yeah,
Uh, and I've never had a problem in hospitals. I think some of them doctors in there are fantastic people. Some of the staff, the nurses and stuff are just wonderful people. Um, and they really, really helped me. I'm sure there's probably mental hospitals that people's had bad experiences. I don't
hmm,
know, but I haven't had any.
yeah,
They've always geared everything toward, you know, trying to get you back stable. That was their main goal.
hmm,
And some of them are some amazing people. They really were.
hmm,
My psychiatrist I got now is just fantastic. You know,
good,
they understand. My psychiatrist doesn't try to be a medical doctor. My medical doctor doesn't try to be a psychiatrist.
yes,
and so they work with each other though. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, but yeah, there's some amazing people, and of course, there's some bad ones too. I mean, it's just that's how life is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like people understand what goes on in the mental hospital. It's not shocking you, in the head and like you see on TV, building
Yes.
Frankenstein or something. And I said that may go on to some. I can't say it doesn't. I can't say it does. I've never been to those, but the ones I've been to, yeah, sure, they were really good.
Yes. Good. So I'm glad, in that you had a positive experience, in that
That's
situation.
like the police. But every time I got locked up, the police have tried to use the least amount of force as possible. When
Mm-hmm.
I was in Walmart, they could have shot me. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I was that bad. But instead, they go beanbag guns, tasers. Trying to get me because they understood. You know, uh, that I was going through something.
Yes. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not the norm in a lot of cases today. I hear a lot of people with mental illness get shot or whatever, and I'm not putting the police down or anything. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just saying, that for me, I was grateful to them how they handled my situation.
Yes. Good. See, you have, you know, angels watching out for you.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Even could
yeah.
be because what happened there at Walmart was that a psychotic break?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah, definitely,
So
definitely. Yeah,
right there in Walmart.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
When. Mm-hmm.
yeah. And it's just and I always feel really bad about doing stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It bothers me, because I'm on my medicine, what I call the real me. I'll go out of my way to avoid problems
Mm-hmm.
and confrontations, and I don't like hurting people. I prefer to help people than to hurt people, you know.
Yes.
And, I don't like doing those things. And uh, that's why I'm fortunate. I've been on my medicine for almost 4 years now, and I've been able to live the kind of life and be who I am. You know,
Good. Good.
I don't worry about, but that's why I talk about in my book too about making decisions. How I got to make the decisions. I know, that I can't be around loud noises, so
Yes.
I get away from that. I think I shared one in my book about being in the waiting room in my doctor's office and a child was over there playing. You know,
Right.
and it was getting loud. I can't expect a child to be quiet.
Yeah.
So so
I
I get up and leave.
yes, and I appreciated that as well because you took your own responsibility onto yourself
Yeah,
and didn't expect everybody to change because a trigger was starting to
yeah,
happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And what you have to be responsible. You have to know what you can and can't do,
Mm-hmm.
and people in your life have to know what you can and can't do,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't expect people to say, well, he's got a mental illness. I'm just going to shut up. I'm going to no. It was up to me to get away from that situation. It's up to me to not go into my grocery store when it's full and there's a bunch of people in there. I know what time
Yes.
that is. you
Yes.
know
Yeah.
and so I can go later on or in traffic. I mean, there is occasionally I have to drive during rush hour.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a very rare. So I don't get in a hurry. So I know that I have things I have to do too. I can't just say, well, I'm mentally ill and that's it. I have
Yes.
my part that I have to do. There are things that I can't control, but there are a lot of things I can control.
So, so you've learned your triggers. One of them's loud noise,
Yeah,
big crowds,
exactly. Yeah.
just stress, kind of stressful situations in general.
Yeah,
Um,
stress is terrible for me. Stress is really bad. Yeah.
yeah, but so even on kind of this the combination that's been working now for 4 years, even with the medication, you still have to do your part.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Sure. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, medication helps. But it's not going to stop it. I still got to do my part. I still know that even on medication, if I'm around loud noises, it's going to take me longer to react, but I'm going to react.
Okay.
In a
Yeah.
negative way.
Yes.
If I have stress, it's going to take me longer. Just the other day, we'd ordered something from Amazon, and I was trying to put it together, and I was getting really frustrated. And my mother's like, just stop, chill out, relax, come
Mm-hmm.
back to it later. Because I would have probably broke it. I'd probably slammed up against the wall. And even though I was on my medicine, but I started getting aggravated. Instead of stopping, I was trying to get it done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so. but that's rarity. Usually, once I get to that point, I just stop what I'm doing and come back to it later. It's not that important, really. Um, and it's just I had to learn those triggers. I had to learn that I can't do this and I can't do that, or if I do this, I can only do it so long, and I can only do that so long. And
Mm-hmm.
I have people that think I'm rude or something because if there's a lot of noises and stuff, I'll leave. You know,
Yeah.
it's not that I don't enjoy their company. I do. I just can't take it. My sister
Right.
come the other day, and she's adopted her two little grandchildren, and I think one's like 3 and one's 5. And for about 5 minutes, I was good with them. They
Mm-hmm.
come around, and then she knows this though, so she sent them outside to play.
Yeah.
While her and I sat and talked.
Mhm.
And it's not that I don't love my great niece and nephew. Sure I do. But I
Yes.
can't take that. I can't.
Yeah.
I'll strike out and I'll end up hurting somebody. And I never want to do that, especially a child.
Yes.
Uh,
So through your kind of your healing process, you've had to really become self-aware of
yeah.
what triggers you, and then just accept and even further into embrace
Hmm.
the
Sure.
limitations now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Exactly.
which
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
which I we were saying earlier. I think it was before the recording. So let's talk about Social Security now, because here you were very successful, personality number two, the driven, had your business, making good money. Hypermania kind of ruined it. And then there's the homeless and Social Security. And so talk about the limitations now, and what you like. How was it trying to get Social Security, because now you realize that you can't
Oh,
work.
yeah. It was a nightmare. Well, I've been turned down several times, but this last time I was finally approved, but through the years. But this last time it was really, I mean, to me, it's disgraceful how the government acts. To me, it's just disgraceful. I applied when I first moved here. Uh, I've been here about probably a month, and I started having some episodes. So I checked myself into the mental hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and I got stabilized and everything. That's when I was living with my dad. He was stressing me out really bad, and so my psychiatrist was like, look, you got to get on disability. You can't be working. You know, you can't have that stress. So I applied for it. About 4 or 5 weeks after I applied for it, I get a letter that I'm turned down, but you can appeal. I'm like, okay, so I appeal, turned down. So I finally got a lawyer, and I come to find out that I turned down twice, and they never even consulted my medical records. They never even consulted my psychiatrist, my
Mm-hmm.
psychologist, any of that. And they actually went on record and said they turned me down because my psychiatrist was not qualified to make decisions about my mental health.
Yeah.
And now these are people that work at Social Security that have no degrees in psychiatry, psychology, no PhDs, no, and they're saying that they're qualified to make these decisions, but my psychiatrists are not. I had
Mm-hmm.
several psychiatrists through the years. When my lawyer just got my record, there's probably 30 different psychiatrists I've seen in my lifetime. And 28 of those 30 are saying, this guy can't have stress, he can't do this, he can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
They said, well, they're not qualified.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's
Yeah,
amazing.
and it's just disgraceful because I had to become homeless. You know,
Yeah.
I become homeless waiting on this shameful process that never should have been. I understand that
Mm-hmm.
people scam Social Security, but I mean, to me, you got to be an idiot if you like to live off $800 a month. That's what I get. I'm making
Right.
1,200, 1,500, 2,000 a week in my business,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then no, I don't like living off of this. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm grateful that I have something. Don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful because with Social Security, I can get my medicine free. I don't pay for my medicine now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So and that's a good thing. But that process should have never been. And there were several people that were homeless, was on the street waiting, and they got doctors and psychiatrists and stuff saying they can't work. Mine even went on record and told Social Security. Well, in fact, it was their own psychiatrist that they sent me to. He said, yeah, he can work as long as he can find a job that gives him a 15-minute break every 30 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
He said, if he can
That's.
find a job like that, he can work.
Yeah.
And they said he wasn't qualified. And they sent me to him, the first time, and then I'm like, wow, really? It's just, it's shameful to me.
So some
It is.
parts of the system were broken, I
Yeah,
guess, like to use that word. So it's that it. So what happened was, your your psychiatrist is telling you that at this point, really you can't work any longer because could become a danger to
yeah,
yourself or
exactly.
others.
Yeah,
Um, and so your option, really, your only option is to go on Social Security. Um, but that took 18 months. So there's 18 months where you can't work and you're not bringing
yeah,
in money. So you had that time of being homeless,
yeah,
that
sure.
didn't really need to be, but that's just the process, right? The super,
Hmm.
um, but even, kind of, which that was really eye opening to me. When you see homeless people on the street, maybe they're just waiting for their social security to kick in to get a
There's a lot of
place.
them. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I understand. There are homeless on the street. There are alcoholics and drug addicts, and some of them like
yeah,
to be there. But
yes,
some of the people are have no choice but to go homeless because they've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I knew one lady that waited 3 years.
yeah.
She lived on the street 2.5 of those 3 years. You know, and that should
During
have never been.
Yeah, during that time that you were homeless, and you talk about it, as awful, I think, as it would be, to be forced, really, kind of, to live like that. Because at that point, it sounded like relationships were broken with
Yeah,
family, and
yeah, yeah.
but you did get a lot of help, and,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah,
and I think along the way, like I said angels earlier, you had your angels, you had a lot of
yeah.
support, from the clinic and
Oh
nuns, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
the Catholic nuns, the clinic. Oh yeah, they were wonderful. When I first become homeless, I lived in my van. Of course, talk about my van breaking
Hmm.
down, and the place that I go to now, they were just amazing. They were amazing.
Hmm.
And the psychiatrist takes me and buys me, tents. He doesn't have to do that.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
not his problem. I'm homeless, but he was so concerned. He's like, I want you here. I want you close to this place. I want to monitor what you're doing. You know, I would go to Catholic church. There was nuns that would wash your clothes, and you could come up there. And I would work and I would do what I could around there, and they understood that. And every now and then they'd give me money because they knew I didn't do drugs or anything like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And th- they were just amazing people. They're like, we'll just do what you can do, and what you can't do, you can't do.
Yes.
Yes, it was. I was really blessed. I'm be honest. I was really fortunate because I didn't share another experience, but about 8, 10 years before that, I was homeless again
Mm.
uh, for about almost a year, and I didn't have those good experiences then.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, but I wanted to share. I chose to share that one because not only can I remember it better, but because there were some great people that helped out. And I want to
Yes.
show people that there are people that are compassionate, that care, that you know. Um, the bad part about that is that some people take advantage of that. Then you got people that don't want to care no more that
Hmm.
were caring. Now
Hmm.
they don't want to care.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I was really blessed. I really was because they helped me. If it wasn't been for them, I probably wouldn't have got through that.
Yes. It really seemed like, of course, in the whole life, really, but during that time, or, the support, I felt, saved is a strong word, but I want to say the
Oh yeah, yeah,
support
yeah,
is
yeah.
really
Sure,
what
yeah, yeah, sure.
helped. Yeah.
It's like now when my mother lived with me. She's an amazing woman. When she first moved in with me, she got online and studied everything she could about my illness. I mean,
Hmm.
she read everything she could read. She'd actually call my psychiatrist and ask questions. And just an amazing woman. She took that time to learn about that kind of stuff. And that's really important.
Hmm.
Family support is hugely important. uh, my mother knows my limitations, what I can and can't do, and she makes sure that I don't do what I can't do.
Yes.
uh, she helps me make sure that there's no stress in the household. All that, if somebody comes in and starts drama, they're out. Uh, and that's really, really, really important. Uh, Medication is important. Don't get me wrong. That's a good part of it. But
Hmm.
family support is hugely important. You know.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
you
Thank
know.
you, Mama. Thank
Yeah, yeah,
goodness
yeah.
for your
Oh,
mom.
oh, 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 yeah. I have an amazing mother.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I have an amazing mother.
Yeah.
For years and years, she was one of the few that always tell me, look, you need to get on your medicine. You need a psychiatrist. You need one of the only one of two of my family that was
Yeah.
pushing
So
that way.
so that's a mama. So were you kind of always thankful to, to be able to live with your mom, combine your incomes and stuff, or was there a time? Are there times deep down when you're like, I'm a grown man and I'm living with my mom?
Yeah, that used to bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I like to be self-independent, self-supporting.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a stigma about people living with their parents. They live in the basement, and play video games, and you know.
Yeah.
But no, I understand that that's a reality. It has to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if I like it, if I don't like it, that's irrelevant. It has to be that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And today I'm grateful. I mean, I don't mind today. I'm grateful. She actually makes less money a month than I do on Social Security,
Yeah.
which is another shameful thing. She's worked 45 years and makes less than $800 a month on Social Security. But anyway, that's a whole
Yeah.
nother story. But so we both are really beneficial to each other. We each pay half of the bills. That helps.
Yes.
And I'm into the point in my life right now where I could care less what other people think about me.
Mm-hmm. That's a good place to be.
Yeah, their opinion of me means nothing to me.
Yeah.
What they think I should be doing or shouldn't be doing means nothing to me. If they want to start paying all my bills, then I might pay attention to them. But you know,
Yeah.
but once I got to that point, then no, yeah, that wasn't an issue anymore. But yeah, that was an issue at one time, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good, good. So we're kind of coming up on the 30 minutes, but one final question. Why did you write this book? What do you want to impart to your readers?
I really hope it saves somebody's life. That was one of the biggest reasons why I wrote it. I had a friend who I shared that in the book. A friend who was suffered from severe depression, and his wife's like, I don't understand why you're depressed. You got a good job, you make good money. Kids. We go on vacations, and he killed himself. You
Hmm.
know, from the depression
Yeah.
because the people in his life didn't really understand it. And I hope that somebody can read that book and maybe help save somebody's life. That was that was one of my biggest reasons for writing it is, you know, if they instead of telling people, get over it or pray about it or whatever, they say, hey, what, we're taking you to the mental hospital. We're taking you to see a psychiatrist.
Yes.
Because it can lead that way. It can lead even if you're not depressed. When I was in hypermania, I didn't know what I was doing. I'm in a delusional state. I could have killed somebody or killed myself.
Mm-hmm.
Hurt somebody really
Mm-hmm.
bad or hurt myself really bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so my biggest goal of that book was for people to understand what it's like to have mental illness, and then maybe save a life. That's what I'd like. I would love it if somebody intervened on somebody that was almost to the point of taking their life, and they intervened and helped them to get the help. You
And
know.
that's a great place to end right there. And your heart comes through in the book. I really think it will save some lives. It will definitely
I hope
open
so.
some eyes. You did a great job. Stick
I appreciate
around,
that.
okay? Stick around
Okay.
for a second. But everybody, can you hold your book up again,
Oh yeah,
James?
sure,
So
definitely.
it's an excellent book if you're wondering about mental illness, know somebody, see signs. The Three Faces of My Mental Illness, available on Amazon. Go get it because it really is fantastic.
Well, thank you.
Yes, yes. So don't go away, James. But
I won't.
aloha
I
to
won't.
everybody, and we'll see you next time.